More down or more up. Anyway.
Trump.
Okay, we live.
Oh, we are?
We are live.
Trump hates Japan.
Well, he hates
My
everything.
students told me.
He hates everything. You know.
I said, really? When did this happen?
You know, I've just decided, for the purposes of the upcoming, why is it that America has why is it that elections there take like 2 years?
Oh,
I mean, you know,
want to be prepared. You know, it's
yeah.
no. I mean, they're getting in there early. You know, it's silly. You know, in the old days, there actually was a time when it was very, very short, and there was no. Yeah, I don't remember now, but I remember seeing something on like the Daily Show or John Oliver or something.
Yeah.
Talked about in the old days, it was really like a 3-month thing, and that was it.
Yeah, well,
it was really, really short.
I think you're talking about when America was still occupied by England.
No. We didn't have a president then.
Well, that's right, but which made the elections easier. So yeah. But anyway, I've just made a random decision lately that on the Republican side of the nomination thing. By the way, let me just put this under here. Mm-hmm. For the purposes of the Republican convention and the race to be the Republican nominee, mm-hmm. I feel like supporting Trump. I feel like I'm going to back him, just even no matter what he says. I'm just going to give him a free pass. And
because you actually want Hillary Clinton to win. Well,
no. The funny thing is, I don't really want her. I'm kind of liking Bernie Sanders just because what I like about Trump is the same thing that I like about Bernie Sanders. That I just
care about Black lives. That's what I want to know, because you know Black lives matter.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yes, of course they do. But I don't know. I'm tired of the Clintons. I'm tired of the Bushes. I'm tired of and frankly, if America was able to vote for W twice, and including one time after the Iraq War, I think they kind of deserve someone like Bush. So, even if he hates Japan,
they deserve someone like Trump. You mean?
Sorry, Trump. That's right. That's what I mean. And another Jeb Bush. Seriously, like how stupid? I mean, I guess either is kind of an IQ test for the country, but would you take a third Bush? I don't know.
I know, that's amazing, right?
But it could really happen. And the fact is, and this is the other thing. Okay, from the outside looking in, we are talking a little bit American, so we will move this back to Japan very quickly. But to me, there is no difference. There is no difference between Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton. None. I mean, the differences between them are superficial.
Hillary Clinton's penis is bigger.
Well, they're both known by the same lobbies. They represent the same interests. They're going to do basically the same things. So no, for me, I just want someone different. That's, and I would even take Trump.
But at the same time, they know what they're doing. They know how to work the system.
They know what they're doing, which is they are just lying to us and doing whatever the people who pay them tell them to do. Which is, at least there's some certainty around that. And
what do they call the people who control the world? I forgot the
Illuminati or the.
Are you part of that, by the way? I applied, but
yeah. I've been there for a few years.
My application, but they said come back when you have $3 billion.
I think you need at least like 150,000 subscribers before they start to. But yeah. And here's the thing, like everyone thought Obama was going to be someone different, right? And that's part of why he got ahead of Hillary Clinton, because the thing was when they both said that they're going to do away with the T.P.P. You see, I'm segueing now. When they said they're going to get rid of the T.P.P., people believed with Hillary Clinton. Everyone knew Hillary Clinton was lying about that, but everyone believed maybe with Obama it might be possible. And I think that's what people are having now with Clinton versus like Bernie Sanders, for example. But the fact is that they all sell out and they all end up just doing what they're supposed to do. So I don't know. It's just like. And plus, if I have to watch this for 2 years, it's like watching pro wrestling, right? I mean, are you gonna support the most outrageous and entertaining character? It's like watching. It's like you're locked into 2 seasons of a TV show that you're being forced to watch. You might as well, Well,
do you remember Ross Perot?
I do, actually. In fact, I was talking with Phoenix 787 the other day on Facebook. That guy's
such a drama whore.
No. I think actually I would switch my allegiance from Trump to Ross Perot if Ross Perot came back.
I was talking about Zach, actually.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I was thinking. I don't think of Ross Perot that way. But that's exactly it, because he has
But
so
he
much
had some
money.
weird shit to say. Yeah.
He did. He had a lot of farm metaphors that he used for everything. But the thing was, he had so much money that he couldn't be bought by any lobby. You would actually be electing someone who would govern with their own brain, which would be, probably the first time since like the 1940s. So I don't know. It's just, but yes. So
Did you
Trump.
tweet this thing out, by the way?
Sorry,
Did you tweet this thing out?
I did. I tweeted you
Here we go.
the link to this. So yeah.
I'll just retweet there. Okay. A
So,
small crowd tonight.
And I know he's sorry, and I've been really lazy tonight. I've been watching nothing but honest movie trailers for the last 2 hours. I just got binge locked into it.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
Yeah. But anyway, so he hates Japan. I don't care. Here's the thing with America and in Japan. Most Americans in Japan are Democrat supporters. Yet the Democratic Party, because they're owned by the United Auto Workers Union in America, always bash and hate on Japan. I mean, Bill Clinton, when he was president, he flew over Japan like 4 times, going over to kiss China's ass. And Obama doesn't care. Yeah, Clinton favored China over Japan, both for economy and foreign policy.
Well, why wouldn't
Democrats are always, they have to be anti-Japan. You'll never get the Democratic nomination being pro-Japan. So what's interesting, it's kind of interesting actually, given that the Republicans just get to be Japan friendly by default, and Japan always looks forward to Republican presidents. That Trump is actually.
I never heard that.
Well, you're an American. You must know that. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just this.
Are you saying the Democrats did 9/11? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, I thought that was just a given, but I mean,
well,
always
when
anti-Japan.
Obama came here, the right wingers welcomed him in the streets.
Who did? What?
The right wingers, all those big black vans were like, Obama, welcome to Japan.
The right wingers welcome. Oh, that's right. They welcome everybody. But
they're very welcoming.
Yeah. But by the way, when I say the stuff about Clinton kissing China's ass, I'm a big Clinton fan, actually. As a president, I think Bill Clinton was a great president, but he just wasn't pro-Japan. And it's not politically possible for Democrats to be pro-Japan, which is just a shame, in my view. But, and this is just another thing about all the vested interests in American politics, which just screw everything up. So it just means that, again, people don't think for themselves. They think, okay, I can't say be pro-Japan because the auto unions are going to rebel against me. And I don't know, with Trump, you can kind of tell because Republicans generally don't have anything.
But Japanese put so much money into the American economy every year with their own auto unions, and the factories. Well, not unions.
Yeah, but when you got a president who's come from, he was actually representing Detroit, right? I mean, you could say, yeah, I mean, Japan's done that, right? They make cars and, all over America and so on, but they're never going to get, I have friends, Nikkei friends and Japanese friends who grew up in America whose dads worked in the Toyota and the Honda plants in America. And they talked about, they used to get spat on. They used to, this is back in the 80s, they used to have the trash of Japanese car competitions and, the hate against Japan, from that time period was vicious, and it's associated with the decline of the industrial belt of America. So, even if it's misplaced now, the hatred, the fact is you are never going to get Democratic heartland votes campaigning being pro-Japan in America. And that's just stupid, but that's just how people are. And
so, I'm questioning that we can't be pro-Japan in America.
And you can, just not Democrats. That's all. Which I think is really a real shame because most Americans in Japan are Democrats.
Caroline Kennedy is a Democrat, isn't she?
Yes. Yes.
Ambassador, and
and according to the audit, and according to the audit of the American embassy, she has done nothing. Nobody in the American embassy has done anything since she got here. They haven't done any policy papers. They've actually come and accused her of literally like doing nothing. She's lovely.
She protected the dolphins.
She protected the dolphins?
Yeah, she protested the dolphin hunting.
Okay,
that's not a big deal.
is that a pro-Japan thing that she did?
Yeah, that's pro-Japan.
So she defended the dolphin hunting in America. Yes. She said it was okay.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. She defended the dolphins from the Japanese.
Yeah, so she wasn't
anti-Japanese.
So she wasn't defending Japan. She was being, she was. Hey, look, Kennedy.
I forgot what dolphins are. Dolphins are Japanese too, but yeah.
Look, she's lovely. She's very good looking. Her brand is, the Kennedy brand is very well loved in Japan. So, but yeah, there's not a long list of Democrat presidential wannabes who would want to come and have their ambassador to Japan on their resume, unless they wanted to be here as a hostile ambassador. Who bashed Japan into accepting, American cars that people don't want to buy. So I don't know. It's just kind of like, so for me, the whole election thing, I love to have someone who's.
I believe you, but it's just something that's never crossed my mind at all.
It amazes me that it's never crossed your mind, because you actually get to vote.
Yeah, and I voted.
Yeah.
I usually vote Democratic. But
yeah, usually vote Democrat.
Which actually doesn't make sense, right?
Well, sure, it makes sense. I mean, here's the thing as well. Well, if I get the feeling if it was like, I kind of support Trump just because I think it's just a logical extreme of the stupidity of the American political system.
Choice if you want comedy.
Yeah, which I kind of am. But if it was, I'd probably lean towards Democrats on most issues. But the thing is, this is the thing though, it's illusory. They're like two football teams at this point. They basically do the same thing no matter whether it's Democrats or Republicans, right? In terms of, dramatic change doesn't really happen that much over there.
Well, that's the thing. Being president actually doesn't mean you can really change the world.
No, not at all.
There's too much of a machine there. He said he's going to close Guantanamo Bay. He swore he would do it.
Kept it open. He said he'd end the war and get troops out of Iraq and get all the troops out of Afghanistan and close down Guantanamo.
And the thing is, I don't think he didn't try. I think he just didn't realize that it was.
I think he gave up. He's given. There's been more drone strikes, more assassinations and so on under Obama than crazy stuff. So I don't think. Also, by the way, Phoenix, if your Honda Accord was built in Ohio, I happen to know the daughter of the plant of the manager of the plant who probably made your Honda, and she was spat upon when she was a kid. I mean, they went through crazy shit just for being Japanese in America, which is why Democrats who work in car plants, people from the Honda families, Japanese families who went to America to set up Honda plants in America to employ Americans. So it's not a winning battle being pro-Japan when you're trying to get the votes of auto workers for the Democratic nomination, which is a shame. But that's just how we lived in a mess up. We live in a messed up world.
So did you hear what Trump said about Japan?
So what did he say exactly?
He said that we have I forgot what it's called. I knew then, but it's the alliance between it's the Japanese USA
security, the Ampol Treaty.
Alliance, is that what it's called? Security Pact? I don't know.
There's two. There's a status of forces agreement in Japan, which says that even if a U.S. serviceman rapes and murders somebody, that they first get handed over to military police and not local police. That's the first one. That caused a lot of trouble in Okinawa. And the second one is
sure that's international though.
Well, America has a bilateral status of forces treaty with every country that hosts its troops.
Right.
And Japan and Korea always was pissed off that Japan had a better one than they had.
Oh, really? It's better.
And it got renegotiated in Okinawa after those 3 Marines raped a 12-year-old.
Yes. Which was a mistake because not of course not the raping, but the handing over because.
Well, the raping was not good either, but yes.
Yeah. Because apparently, I read about this later, but they would have gotten much harsher penalties had they been judged by the military.
If they were convicted, but this is part of the problem. There was a perception that the military was going easier on its own troops. But
that's a Japanese perception. If you look at the stats, the American military is really harsh on its own troops. It's much worse to be judged by the military police than the regular police.
Yeah, maybe
you go to jail for 12 years minimum.
Maybe.
And then they went to jail for 6 years.
Yeah,
and I think 4 or 5. I don't remember. It was like nothing. It's like they were so lucky to be thrown in Japanese jail, comparatively.
But you could understand the disquiet among the local population.
Oh, yeah.
The troops were there and they had to get out of jail free. What looks like a local.
Why would they trust the Americans, right? Yeah, I don't blame them at all. But
from a local perspective, so one is the status of forces treaty, and the other treaty is the security treaty, which was negotiated by Abe's grandfather, which basically allowed America to continue occupying Japan to this day. It allowed all the U.S. bases, which are in Japan, which are actually paid for more than half by the Japanese government. All of that fantastic base housing, the big houses that Americans get to live in, is all paid for by the local governments, which actually own the land. So Japan actually pays for the U.S. forces to be here largely.
So I know an American couple who worked for the American military here.
Yeah.
And they rented a house.
Yeah.
Quite a big house.
Hmm.
But their rent was phenomenally high.
Okay, so
He was paying out of his, salary, but we can.
So he's a contractor. That's probably why.
Yeah, he was a contractor. Yeah, but we can assume that his salary must have been pretty good to be able to pay I think it was like 350,000 yen.
Yeah. Okay.
Just rent, which is pretty good.
But here's an interesting thing: if you live near a base, if you live in Okinawa or you live in, those local.
Asakusa, is that it?
No, definitely not. There's definitely not one in Asakusa.
It sounds
Yokosuka. In Kanagawa and in Okinawa and Hiroshima and places where the biggest bases are, local taxes are used to pay to subsidize the housing and the land and the rents for the forces there. So it's a pretty good deal for America. Although at the same time, for Japan, what it is practically speaking is Japan paying for America to act as a big security guard for Japan, I guess. That's one way of looking at it.
So that's what Trump was bitching about. He said, if somebody attacks Japan, we have to protect them. But if anyone attacks us, they don't have to do anything. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what Abe's security law is about. He's trying to fix that. Although at the moment, everyone's getting very upset about that because under interpretations of the Constitution, which America forced on Japan,
right?
Japan's not allowed to defend the American forces in Japan to defend Japan,
right?
Which is crazy. And Trump is completely right about that. But at the same time, the Japanese public is at the moment,
he's right, but he can only blame America.
Well, that's right. Exactly. That's a situation entirely created by America. But yes. By the way, Waito-san, just noticed that Waito-san is watching us for the first time live. So thank you for joining us.
Waito?
Yeah, there's a Waito-san. There's someone called
White Power?
I don't know. They're watching us for the first time, and they're very happy to be watching us. So
really?
it's definitely not a troll name, I don't think.
Do you want to go through
the commenters?
You want to look at the questions? We can take care of our subscribers today.
I got one. So Ramsey Barabia, it's good to see you. And you're in Belgium, if I remember correctly. And you're asking, how strong is the JSDF and how capable are they of defending Japan? What's your answer to that, Victor?
The JDF, how what?
The JSDF, how good is the JSDF? Can they defend Japan?
Oh yeah, I think Japan is the top 5, spends more than 20 other countries.
Oh, do not white balance.
Sorry. They're the top 5. Yeah, they're the top 5. Yeah, I noticed that about your.
Yeah. Sorry.
The top 5. The 5th. They spend what's the ranking? How do you say? They are the 5th biggest spenders when it comes to military in the world.
Yeah.
So their equipment is good. They got some good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you wouldn't want to screw with them unless you're whoever you were, you wouldn't want to fuck with them. Even China, I think would have a little bit of a difficulty, taking them down. I think eventually they would because of their size, but they were alone.
Yeah, it's a big question, isn't it? Would they actually be able to defend Japan? Yeah, there's also the thing about, one of the debates at the moment, that, people join the JSDF knowing that they're never going to get into conflict situations. So would that change if they change the constitution, they'd actually have to fight? Because at the moment, this is basically, imagine it's a good paying vocational job. A lot of people join the US military for the same reason, right? To get sort of vocational training or to, get their college fees paid for. And, there's with the slight risk that you might get sent to Afghanistan or Iraq. But imagine if you could join that and have all the same benefits without any risk of ever being sent to a war zone. It's a good deal.
You said Americans join for the same reason?
A lot of Americans join the US military for vocational training. Or,
9/11 boosted enrollment, though, and not enrollment, but enlistment. A lot of people joined because they wanted to fight.
Yeah, well, it did. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's so bright at the moment. I'm blinded looking at myself. I'm a very
White power. You're racist.
Black lives matter, but geez, I'd say that with my own color.
So that whole Black Lives Matter thing, I didn't quite understand what that was referring to.
I do not understand what that's about, though. Seriously, all these people are all lives matter. It's not just black lives. Why are they only saying black lives? That's such
I thought it was related to those shootings recently, right? The recent shootings of by police officers.
Yeah, it's police abuse where basically so many black people die in police custody, which happens,
Or
but
before.
very seldom statistically. It doesn't happen on par with population when white people, for example, end up in police custody.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's probably where it came from. But I was reading some of the comments in one of my videos where I mentioned guns.
Yeah.
And someone said it's all those I pointed out how so many people died, blah blah, and someone said that's all gang related, and I thought like that doesn't matter. Then I realized Black Lives Matter. So yeah, maybe a lot of gang members are killing themselves.
So I think the point is that whenever black people die in police custody, there's an implication. All the there seems to be a trend that the police are never investigated for when a black person dies in police custody, but whenever a white person dies in police custody, it's an outrage and it gets investigated, and it's handled differently. And so there is an implication by that the lives of black people in police detention have somehow less value to the media and to the public and to the internal investigations part of the U.S. police.
I would argue it's not black and white; it's poverty and rich. And they happen to be black people who don't have power.
So you think that
You
think that poor white people get treated better get treated the same by police as poor black people?
A little bit better, but not much. If you're poor, people don't care. You're for white trash, people don't care. You're from Kentucky or, any poor white trash, hillbilly city, and you do some shit. The cops are just they're gonna throw you around, and if you get hurt, well, no one's going to care. You've seen those videos of women who go crazy, like white trash and crack.
I'm saying I used to love cops. I mean, I love cops, but
a lot of white. It's not black and white. I think it's poverty more, but but
the thing is, the rate of suspicious deaths of black people in police custody is ridiculous in America, and that's what that comes from. It's a reaction against that, and that is objectively true, and I think it is racism related, and
you hear about the American politician. I think it might have been Sanders, who had to apologize because he said Black lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter, and then he had to apologize for saying that.
So I think the point of those protests and what they're getting upset about is that they're reacting to a discrimination against that black lives are treated like differently. Everyone already knows that white lives matter. That's clear, and the opposition is to the idea that black lives seem to mean less when they're in police custody. And as Phoenix says, of course there are exceptions. Of course, oh look, here's a white person who died in police custody, also suspiciously, and people kind of raise this up. But I don't know. I mean, again, I follow, like, when you follow Vice News, which tracks these kind of police abuse cases, the numbers and circumstances. I mean, this guy who died after being in jail for like 4 months for stealing a $5 candy bar, the fact that he was in jail for 5 months,
Jesus,
and that he ended up dying in jail, like of starvation. He stopped eating or something and he died of starvation. But the fact that in police custody and under supervision, and this was awaiting trial, he was in jail for 4 months for a $5 chocolate bar. And yes, poverty is obviously a part of that. But again, the idea that someone who looks like me, or someone like from that a white guy from my sort of background in America being in a jail for 5 months for shoplifting. I know guys who have stolen street signs and vandalized cars and done stuff much worse than like a $5 chocolate bar and never had anything done to them. And that's true. You get a pass for being white, and police will treat you differently.
Stole a stop sign like 20 years ago, and as a result, someone ran through the intersection and crashed and died.
Yeah.
And those kids were all like rich kids, and
it's rich kids who do that stuff the most, and and that stuff is worth more than $5, and it has more of a consequence. So. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a very American thing, and I'm not American, right? And I'm on the outside looking in, but I understand what that means, and I understand why they don't say, why the all lives matter thing is kind of course, but it's not. They're trying to address a specific issue, which is that there is racial profiling and differentiated treatment by a lot of police forces in America, which is obviously, and you can't say that that's not the case. I mean, it's there. The cases are crazy that keep coming up.
I'm not going to defend that, of course.
But yeah, and
how do we get on this?
you asked me about the Black Lives Matter thing and what I think about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which you shouldn't have done.
Well, because you're all white. Your white balance is a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to be less white.
Don't you have anything dark in the background?
I think it's my shirt. I think when I point this down, it picks up the color, white balances against my black shirt, and it makes everything else look whiter. That's okay at the moment, actually.
Bruce looks like he's a DJ in that.
He is a DJ in this. That's
yeah,
that's right.
I couldn't see the bottom.
So come back to Japan. I actually ran into a watcher during the week, and he actually had 2 requests for topics for the show, and this is a little bit random, but if I can throw them out at you.
Oh, okay.
He said that he wants us to talk about the subject of Ningen Kabe.
Hey, I can see all the tags in the video today. Is that because of that thing?
If you put in the Chrome thing, that's why.
Yeah.
They're not visible unless you put in that thing which I sent to you.
Yeah. Good. That was good, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's interesting now.
Ningen Kabe, the phenomenon of large groups of Japanese walking, taking up all the sides of the sidewalk and not letting you walk around them is something that he wanted us to take up as a subject. He calls it Ningen Kabe, and he wants us to.
That happened to me today. I was so pissed off. Like 3 people walking side by side, and they didn't even know each other. I'm like,
they didn't even know each other.
At a different rate.
Man, that's just going to be racism or something. That they were just ganging up. They just saw the foreign man trying to walk up from behind.
Now you're out of focus. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a. I was bitching about this today with Molly on the phone. Like, I can't get around this crowd of people in front of me. Everyone should walk to one side. But they do that on the escalators, you know.
Yeah.
What can we do about that? Does that happen in the States? I don't even know. That must happen everywhere, right? There's slow people walking everywhere.
There are slow people everywhere, and I mean, I was being very socially aware and sensitive just now, but I think when it comes to people walking slowly, I am in favor of extreme anti-social measures being taken against such people. In fact, we have to be careful not to agree on this. So you're taking the position against such people, right?
People think it's all organic, the disagreements here. You're looking at the veil.
I deliberately just disagree with everything.
What was I going to say about that?
Slow people walking. Well,
I can't stand them. I hate them. Old people, and it's getting worse and worse. And it's going. Oh yeah, you get off the elevator, you go up the elevator, and you stop right there to take out your wallet.
Yeah.
Walking. Why the fuck? What's wrong?
Oh, wait a minute. No, forget about that. What about in front of the ticket gates and the train station? Like, just when they're about to go and put the ticket on, or they just get to the other side and they just
say goodbye to them
right there. And there's like a line of people behind you, so like you can't help but crash into them. And honestly, I do it slightly on purpose. I confess.
I'll confess to that too. I've done that on purpose as well.
I mean, seriously, you go live in some place without trains if that's how you want to.
Yeah, I don't understand that. And they're Japanese. They live here. They should know how to maneuver in their country a little bit better than we should. But.
Well, the problem with Tokyo is that you get a lot of non-Tokyo people. It's like New York, right? Where you have a lot of out-of-towners come and they're all walking around looking up and bumping into people and stuff like that and annoying everybody. You do get that in Tokyo. You get the country people have just arrived.
Well, New York City, go back to Cleveland,
Yes, well, we would say Saitama here, but yeah, pretty much the same.
People do yell that all the time.
Yeah.
By the way, in New York City.
Well, see, in Tokyo, people are just very passive-aggressive. They just don't say it. But they do definitely think go back to Cleveland. Or Saitama or Ibaraki. Actually, Ibaraki is more Ibaraki than Saitama, actually. Saitama people are still generally in Tokyo. But yes, the Ningen Kabe is just the walking slowly thing. I mean, Tokyo is a high-paced city, and I'm a fast walker. Okay, so we completely agree about this, but I don't know. I mean,
sorry about that.
Yeah, the problem is this is such a I can't disagree with it, but we have been asked.
Well, what can we do about it? I don't know. Maybe get a bell. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. How about people on bicycles who don't use their bells?
Yeah, I use the bell. Although again, there's two schools of thought. Well, there's 2 schools of thought on this. There's the idea that using the bell is highly antisocial and that you should just be more sensitive and go around people, and there's a school of thought that says, get out of the freaking way. I've got a bell. But I don't know. It is a bit antisocial to be there, walking behind on the bicycle, going, it's like honking a horn, right?
Well, my crazy German cyclist friend Mark, who wears the dresses.
Oh, wears the dresses? Yeah, that one.
German guy. So he comes to Japan every year with his bicycle, and it's incredible. He just rides his bicycle everywhere.
Yeah,
he just gets around the whole country. It's amazing. See, he does a great job. He'll clock like 100 kilometers a day easily. But anyway, he got this year. He outfitted his bicycle with a super bell.
A super bell. Oh, like one of those like fog.
And it's electronic. It's electronic. He made a USB chargeable battery that he hooked up to the bell, and when he's going down the street, he'll just turn it on and go ding 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 ding, and it'll just ring. Yeah, perpetually, and it's really loud.
Yeah,
it's annoying, but I think it's a great idea.
It's a good way to give people heart attacks. Yes. I don't know. I do use the bell, but I try to use it sparingly. But yeah. By the way, I have a New Yorker calling BS on you. My lung puppy says, "Oh, New York is not that bad. Come on, man. New York is not that bad."
I drove a taxi in New York City 25 years ago, and that's what I'm talking about. If it's changed now, then great. Yeah, I'll admit that I have no idea what it's like now. My sister lives there, and we don't talk about it at all. So maybe it's not that bad anymore.
Yeah.
25 years ago, I borrowed my girlfriend's car, and she's from Philadelphia. I'm driving, and people would yell at me, "Go back to Philly!" I was like, "I'm from New York, motherfucker."
Actually, you're from Peru first, and then Florida, right? But then New York.
People would knock on the door, and when I was a taxi driver, it says, "Do you speak English?" all the time.
Yeah, you could use that
a little bit. Yeah, oh yes, a little.
Are you the tax guy? No.
New York is great, my lung puppy, and I'm a big New York fan. I love New York, and it has changed. You're right, but I don't know about the drivers.
Yeah.
I know. Don't be so sensitive. It's a goddamn city. You're going to defend 9 million people. Who cares? New York's great, but they're not America. Okay, New Yorkers are New York.
It's like Tokyo.
They're special. They're better, but they're not America.
By the way, my lung puppy also calls out, since they're being controversial at the moment, the riding bicycles on the sidewalks is crazy. But you know what? I think it's great. Myself
in Japan.
In Japan, in fact,
they
ride on the sidewalks.
Recently, you can't ride bicycles on sidewalks that are less than 2 meters wide.
So I think it varies place to place, but in Tokyo, it's like a 3 meter rule.
It's 3 meter. You have sidewalks 2 meters wide.
Yeah, there's a limit, but yeah,
it's 2 meters.
But the idea is that, well, for one thing, in Japan, people don't put on all these like lycra suits and get road racing bikes and go around in the traffic like they should be treated like a car. They actually are grandmothers and mothers with babies and stuff.
Like 2 babies or 3 babies sometimes.
2 or 3 babies. And they ride on the footpaths because it's safer for the kids, and they don't ride like maniacs trying to mow everyone down. If there are people, the walking people do have right of way, and you have to be patient or navigate and work your way around. So I don't know. I think the fact is you don't have to ride at 50 kilometers an hour everywhere like people in New Zealand and Australia do. People here ride at a slightly faster than walking pace, like a jogging pace is the pace that people ride. And they ride the big goofy
Some people are really fast on those mamacharis, though.
Well, you can be, and I am probably one of the faster people on them. And they have the battery power, the battery assistance and everything like that as well, which is cool. But, the road bike people ride on the roads, but the mamachari people ride on the footpaths. And it's just understood that you just can't be a dick when you're riding on the footpath, which, if they're in America or in England or New Zealand or Australia, if you change the law to allow riding bicycles on the footpath, immediately you're going to have all these dicks just going around on road bikes running people over, and it would be unworkable. But it works in Japan because people are just not dicks as much. It's a problem with our culture, I think. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think bikes should be on the road?
Why do you think it's cool though? You said it's great that you can do it, or
I think it's great that you can ride on the footpaths here because I think it promotes responsible bicycling actually more than
pretty bad in New York City. It's really bad, and the animosity. Well, I'm sorry. I should say 25 years ago. Okay, before Lung Puppy goes crazy on me. I think there's a lot of animosity between New York taxi drivers.
Keep it coming, my lung puppy. Yeah.
No, I like my lung puppy. Between taxi drivers and bicycles, because I was both. When I first came to New York City, my first job was bicycle delivery. What's it called? Not delivery, messenger. Bicycle messenger. That was my first job in New York City. Tough job. A lot of fun. Got in great shape.
Yeah.
But a lot of problems with taxis. They hate you.
Yes.
And quite a few accidents. People open their doors suddenly, don't look, and you crash.
Phoenix is saying bikers. I'm not sure if you mean bicyclers or actual bikers. Bicyclists in Arizona were awful. I'd imagine half of them would just be like dying, wouldn't they? Just like in the heat. I don't know if you could even ride a bicycle in Arizona. But yes.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hot there, right?
But anyway, so this whole Ningen Kabe thing, the whole walking slow thing, and the walls that people make, like obliviously to people behind them, we're agreed that this is and he wants us to use the term Ningen Kabe, and so I think we can call it that, right? It makes sense.
We can call it Ningen. Yeah, Ningen Kabe is cool. It's a good name.
Ningen Kabe. I think so.
There you go.
That is the officially promoted Ningen Kabe.
So Englandese says he rides his mamachari in England, and people throw eggs at me and call me gay.
I'm glad that you still ride your mamachari in spite of that. That's actually.
Do they have mamacharis in other countries?
Well, you think about it in Europe. I know in the Netherlands and stuff, they have the old basket bicycles. I don't know. I mean, I think about my mum's bike used to be like a 3-speed with a basket on the front, which I used to ride when I was a kid. I can imagine. But man, I mean, you talk about a place I would not want to be a cyclist is the UK, because man, I mean, I've told you this before.
There are great YouTube videos of guys who go around filming with the GoPro on their heads, filming all the altercations they get into.
Oh man, well, honestly, like English people, I know they come across as nice and polite and reserved, but they are the worst drivers I've run into anywhere, and I'm including Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia. They're the worst and most aggressive and scariest drivers. The roads are terrifying in the UK. They're so aggressive. I mean, you know, and road rage is like an everyday thing. I've been on some road trips there, and it's just crazy how aggressive English people are. So I'd be terrified to ride a bicycle there. I mean, yeah. So again, Japanese people are just mellow about that stuff. So I don't know. It's kind of cool.
What's the other complaint your friend said, or the other topic you wanted us to talk about?
The other one which I put on the front was Eigo Bandits. It's a bit of a traditional one, but
Eigo Bandit?
Yeah, Eigo Bandits. So you know, Eigo Bandits. Eigo Bandits are women or men that want to date a foreigner to improve their English skills.
Oh, I thought they were called English Gaijin hunters, but.
Well, there's a few different. I mean, there are Gaijin hunters who are not necessarily Eigo Bandits. Eigo Bandits is a very specific group that have that English.
I think people exaggerate that thing. It's almost like being afraid of sharks in the water. Like, yeah, there are a few, but they're not that many. You're not. I think the chances of you meeting one.
We're coming back to the Bobby Judo thing, because that's like, okay, so you think that's statistically insignificant? I think it's probably statistically significant.
Statistically significant?
Yes. So you think it's basically not something to worry about? It's so rare that you don't have to think about it. I think you do have to think about it. I think there are people out there who will want you, not for your personality and not even for your body. They'll just want you for
everybody wants me for my body.
Yeah, well, not everybody, but you know, there are people who will want you just as for free English lessons.
I see. That seems like a really illogical thing to do.
Well, it saves money.
Well, yeah, but it's a lot of hassle to date someone because for English lessons. It seems to be crazy.
Yeah, but you know as well. I mean, I think there are situations like where people, they're not actually dating. They're in these but they're in social situations. So the guy is expecting to be able to date, but they find out the person doesn't want to date, but they just want to meet them and hang out and practice English.
Oh, that's not really dating then. Yeah.
No, okay. but they are being Eigo Bandits. They're basically trying to steal English from you for free.
I don't know about stealing, but
well, that's why we call them bandit. But you know the idea. Basically, they're trying to get.
Okay, well, I suppose that kind of person exists, but I don't. Yeah, so they're not really Gaijin hunters. They're not really trying to date you. They're trying to just use you. But again, for me, it's a very minor percentage. And yeah, those people exist. Yeah, no, you're right, and they only want to speak English, and it's a pain in the ass. So I stop hanging around with them. That's it.
Yeah, my so my Australian, an Australian friend who introduced me to this concept, and he said whenever he runs into an Eigo Bandit, that he makes it very clear that they're expected to put out for lessons. And he was very successful at that strategy.
Yes, I understand why you're embarrassed of your Australian side.
Well, I mean, I kind of admire it at the same time as I could never be like that. But actually, it's kind of like, damn, that's a good story.
Sure, I'll speak English with you. Just lay down.
I think his specific. I remember specifically he'd say his test for dating Eigo Bandits was seeing if they could speak English with a banana in their mouths. He was a bad person. It was funny.
Put this banana in your mouth and repeat this poem, this dirty limerick.
It was terrible. But at the same time, he says they're trying to use me
There once
Which
was
I
an
think he was
ugly.
flattering himself. But I don't know. I mean, do people here have people here run into these Eigo bandits?
So it's not a threat on your life. You just
No, they're much worse
avoid them.
things.
You go out with them, you realize what they are, and then you don't go out with them anymore. That's about it. It's happened to me a couple of times, but
Trevor Small makes an excellent point that no one would put out for Australian English. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, I can't really say it's really been a problem with for me. And I used to date.
Yeah, extensively.
Yeah,
Victor,
that's all I can say.
For those who aren't aware, Victor was basically like the Fonzie of Nagoya, right?
Well, if your Japanese gets good enough, then you basically speak circles around them in Japanese, and they gotta give up because it just becomes ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but then there's this problem. So, what if she's really good looking, and she wants to speak English with you?
What's the problem?
Yeah. So speaking.
Of course, you speak English with her. She's good looking, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. So
then you make that decision that.
Well, that's right.
You suffer her English.
Yeah,
so I would too. I would suffer that.
So sometimes you just allow yourself to be robbed.
But here's the thing: people are lazy. Eventually, no matter how much you think she's going to want to speak English, it's not going to last more than 30 minutes or an hour. After that, a couple drinks, you just relax.
Sorry, what won't last more than 30 minutes or an hour?
Her desire to learn.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got confused. Yeah,
The actual act would be much shorter.
5 minutes. I don't know. It's like for me, it's not really a phenomenon I've had to worry about for like 10 years now. But I do have many fun memories of those sort of days.
I will say, like Phoenix points out, he says he wants to improve his Japanese, but everyone wants to speak English with him. And yeah, that is a problem. I would say that was probably my biggest complaint. But I wouldn't say they're trying to use me. I think the fact was I couldn't speak Japanese.
So this guy who I met actually, who asked for these topics, he mentioned, like, we were talking a bit about Debito, and he was talking about like the two examples of like racist shops that turn away foreigners or Japanese people that insist on speaking English to you even when you're speaking Japanese back to them.
Right.
He said he gets more offended by the Japanese who insist on speaking English to you than the shops, because with a shop,
too.
Fine, no harm. I'll go somewhere else. But someone who is like ignoring me and just speaking to me in English, like pretending like I don't say anything.
But I will call them out. I'll say, why are you speaking to me in English? I'm speaking to you in Japanese. I obviously speak Japanese, and you keep speaking to me in English. Is there something wrong? Do you not understand my Japanese?
Well, I disagreed with him on this. I think there's no real. But so we can disagree here. You're in agreement with this guy, and I had a long debate with this guy about this.
It's almost like you're not even there. They're just completely blind to anything that's happening.
Well, you remember that video that Hikosaemon did with Debito, where Debito like called out the waitress, and the freaking it was a bit of a dick move. That he was saying, "I'm speaking Japanese to you, lady," but he was in the cafeteria of the Foreign Press Correspondents Association.
Exist, yes, but there are millions of more who don't blink an eye when you speak Japanese to them at all. I deal with those people. Today I asked some woman instructions to some train lady, right? The train conductor, whatever, the woman who works with, and she completely, very quick Japanese, gave me directions to where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And didn't, slow down or anything. It was completely natural. And
in the cities, I think that's
didn't even turn around when I walked away,
Yeah.
Just doing her job.
Yeah. No, but there's the thing, I mean, which I still, what I don't like, I mean, I don't mind if someone wants to practice English with me anymore. I don't really feel like I've got anything to prove, like with Japanese anymore. But what does get me is when. Yeah,
there is a phase too. You have what Hiko says is actually pretty important. When people get really angry about the Japanese thing, it's because they've studied a lot and they feel like they're not being recognized for their Japanese ability. But after a while, you're like, you're fine. Like, I know I speak Japanese. I don't have to prove it. So you don't get pissed off all the time.
Yeah.
I'll get pissed off if there's a conversation that continues that way, even though especially if everyone in the room is speaking Japanese. Oh, how about this one? People translate needlessly.
Yeah.
People have an ingrained necessity, or they're compelled to start translating for you, even though you're fucking obviously understand what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Like, he just said that. I know what he just said. I'm actually in this conversation as well. You don't have to translate everything.
Yeah. Well,
It doesn't happen to you at all?
The one that I still hate is, I'm okay if someone wants to talk to me in English, I'll flip it to English. I don't really think about it anymore because I used to be such a dick about it. I used to like deliberately try to humiliate people who would talk to me in English. So, you know, and
like, how would you do that?
Well, I would just basically come back in the type of, when I was in New Zealand working at the OK gift shop, sometimes it would be like a Japanese person who I presume couldn't speak English. You know, like in the shop or something, who it turned out had grown up in New Zealand. So as soon as I hear that they're fluent at English, it's hugely embarrassing because my Japanese was so bad that, you know, it's kind of like I feel completely inadequate that I've been using my shitty Japanese when they speak fluent English, right? So I went through that phase. So basically, I would try to recreate that sensation for the people in Japan when I came back and someone wanted to, hello, can I speak with you, you know, in crappy, and I would just try to humiliate them and make them feel incredibly uncomfortable back with completely fluent Japanese back. And that was always my goal. My goal was to improve my Japanese so that I could humiliate people better with it. But then I started to realize that was a real dick thing to do. And
well, that's what we say in Spanish, you know. When someone can speak well, we recognize that by saying he can defend himself, he can protect himself in his language. Yeah, he can fight. Yeah, so it's a sign of ability.
But I think when I finally got to that point that I didn't care anymore and I didn't have anything to prove anymore, which was about my 5th year, I think. Maybe it was about the 3rd year. I mellowed out probably when I started playing rugby. It was about 4th or 5th year maybe. But at that point, I suddenly realized, man, I was such a dick to so many people. So now whenever anyone like wants to speak English with me, I immediately just say, sure.
You're doing penance, basically.
I'm doing penance for being such a dick.
You're a good man. You're good.
Well, I'm a bad man, but that's why I'm being nice now. But what I do, what gets me, and we've talked about this before, and I talked about this with this guy, is when I'm talking to someone and I'm with my wife, and I'm in a shop, and they see me walk up and they're, oh crap, foreigner, oh good, he's got a Japanese person with him.
I know.
No matter what that person says to me, I'm gonna just talk to the Asian person nearby.
Right.
Yeah, and in that I still get extremely passive aggressive. I will actually tell my wife to tell. I'll use politically incorrect language in Japanese and say, "Can you tell this retarded old lady that she needs to give me the change?" Audibly to my wife in front of her. Like after 1 or 2 times, if they're still ignoring me, yeah, which I've had not many times, and it's funny because my wife gets really angry at me when I do that.
Oh yeah, they hate it. Yeah, they don't.
Because you're putting them on the spot, but I'm like, she can't see me. I'm invisible. It's okay. Well,
many years ago, I became friends at a gym with a woman who was a mama-san, you know, a hostess bar, and she was beautiful. She was young, but she owned her own bar. Yeah, and she was Korean, Japanese, whatever. Yeah. And I didn't know that at the time, but we went out on a date, and we went out and we were spending the day at a matsuri, going out and during the day. Yeah. And someone, you know, was we were talking to some vendors or whatever. Yeah. And they said, you know, they started asking questions about me, and she said, you know, he's right here and he speaks Japanese. Why don't you ask him yourself? Yeah. At that moment, I just felt completely in love with her. I was like, oh, you're the best. You know? Yeah. She was cool. It was cool to be treated that way by the woman you're with instead of oh you know, embarrassed. You know?
Yeah, actually, that would be cool. Although I guess, you know what, the reason, if she's got Korean heritage, that means that she probably understood your situation or could empathize, which is what's generally missing from those interactions, even with people who are supposed to be on your side. Japanese don't generally understand what it's like to be treated like an invisible person.
Even if you try to explain it to them, they just don't think it's a big deal.
They immediately think that person doesn't mean any harm. So don't be mean to them. You're being a bad person. Yeah, you're being a bad person because you're doing it on purpose. They're not being bad talking to me. But for me, it's like I'm teaching them an important lesson that they need to learn. But yes, that is a situation which does aggravate me when that happens.
There's a new rule. Everyone has to take a shot whenever we say a woman is beautiful.
Well, like Phoenix. And I can't go past 1 a.m. tonight because
which is good.
I like being physically intact. We have 5 minutes left, but why don't we talk? Do you want to talk about the beautiful women that we've known?
No, the party. The party is Saturday, and Hiko and I are gonna.
Full of beautiful women.
We're going to we would like to maybe hopefully interview some people. So we were thinking if you guys had some interesting questions for us to ask other YouTubers.
Yes. Oh, right.
I don't know if we get some. There's kind of not enough time, but if anyone has any, and if you could even email them to us, a good idea of some kind of theme, because we can't think of anything that's that interesting. Who's your hero, or what got you YouTubing, or what's your what animal?
What is the most awesome interview question ever for getting good reactions? That's like not lame.
Yeah.
And we'll get
an awesome interview question.
That's all that we need. It's a very simple request. We just need the most awesome interview question ever, and we can't think of it right now, so we'd like some help.
And if you want to email them to us, that'd be cool too.
By the way, I am making the video for people who are coming to the party, and even people who aren't. I always put playlists up, and I put them all over the screens. There's like multiple screens in the sports bar that we will do the party at. So if you want to make sure that your face is on those screens at the party, you can do it. Just in the event page, there is a thread that I've got where people can post videos for the video they'd like to have. Keep it short because, it's only a 2-hour time that we've got the place booked to ourselves. So I'll do multiple playlists and show multiple things at the same time. But, try to make it a less than 5-minute video. If you've got one like that you can recommend to me, that would be cool. Phoenix, in terms of dress code, trousers will be required, or at least some form of pants.
Anyone exposing themselves will be removed from the premises.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that one. I tried to negotiate with the owner about that one, but he insisted that people had to have pants on. I'll try next year. Yeah.
So I should put up a video there too as well, right?
Yeah. But why not? Yeah, if you've got one that you'd like me to do.
Sure. Let's see. So we're meeting at what time to start? 6 o'clock? Is it 6 or 7?
We're starting at 7. We can come in. You come in a little bit early, like 15 minutes early. The guys he let everyone in. I asked him, could we push it out and start a little bit earlier? And he said, sure. But the Nomi Hoda is based on 1,500 yen per hour for each person at the moment, so you'd have to stretch that out. Which I said, no, I'm not going to put up the price. So yeah, he said he can come in like 15 minutes early.
Okay, 15 minutes early.
Yeah. He said if 15 minutes, something like that, it's fine. But if you're talking like half an hour or more, he'd have to adjust the price, which is fair enough. Yeah, I tried.
What else is happening this week? Well, I think it's just the party. The party's a big thing.
Party.
So there'll be no live show, of course, next Saturday.
Yeah, damn, it's soon, isn't it? Actually, it's next week.
Saturday, yeah.
Oh, damn, I didn't actually. Yeah, that just occurred to me. Next week. So yeah, we'll probably if you follow Victor and I on Twitter, we have Periscopes. I think I'm going to use Periscope. That's a good live streaming.
I'll bring my what do you call it? Router. Air route or whatever that. What the hell is that thing?
Yeah, if you said that in Australia, someone would take that totally the wrong way.
What would that mean?
Well, my Australian friend who had the banana test for the Eigo Bandits, he's what you'd call a router in Australia, one who roots.
What does that mean?
Rooting is a slang term for making love.
Oh,
so if you
really? That's kind of a shitty slang.
Sorry,
that's kind of a shitty slang. Where's your I'm looking for your thread here. Let me see. Awesome. Let me see. I don't see anything. Oh, here we go. Well, I'll look. I'll look. I'll let you go. Time to create a party video. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so just add it there.
Yep.
Let's just wrap it up early. I don't want to get you in trouble, and I got to get up early tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Actually, work.
By the way, have you seen my new series with Ace, the Ace producer?
No, I haven't. I'm really bad. I saw Rachel in June last week. I apologize profusely for being behind on videos.
The next episode will be on the technical, on how he made his awesome series, and actually talking really technical about it. It's really, really good.
Big preview of new series with Henagaiji in Tokyo Tonight. Where is it? Oh, how Ace got to be a producer. Okay.
Yeah, that's the first episode. That's introducing him.
Oh, nice. But you used the room. That is an ugly shirt. Everyone should go over there just to thumb up that shirt because
they blame you for my taste in shirts in the comments of that video.
I would imagine because that's as ugly as anything I've gotten.
Yeah,
I would buy that shirt for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone instantly said when they saw that.
How Ace got to be a producer. Ace producer versus Geek YouTuber episode 1. Yeah.
So episode 2, which is coming this Tuesday, is actually going to be getting nuts and bolts on how he actually made that. What really matters and how he made Henagaijin and what we're all doing wrong as YouTubers. And it's really, really, really. I learned.
Is he coming to the party?
No, he's in Singapore, but he'll be coming back to Japan soon, so he won't be at the party though.
All right.
But yeah.
Cool.
But anyway,
Okay.
Gotta go. So see you guys next week. I'm back with Tokyo Tonight tomorrow night. You've got stuff every day. You put up your first video. You posted your first video yesterday, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I reposted my original video on Gimmeabreakman. Someone was giving me a shit about you should make another channel for crap, like this. Something, we want more produced crap. And I said, no, I'm not making this channel is made to be this is my crap channel. And I put up the original video which declared this is a crap channel. And Gimmeabreakman was the original channel.
Yeah.
So I found it. It was privatized, so I hadn't privatized it to show him. And I thought, people were really interested because it's terrible. It's just me just blah blah blah. It's not even properly filmed. It's using the capture software from YouTube. So
yeah, I haven't watched it.
I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next week, though.
Yeah. Indeed, it's going to be awesome. It is the party of the year. It is the party of the year. So see all of you, as many of you guys as possible next week. There's already people confirmed who are going to be flying in for it.
Ed's coming in.
Ed's coming in.
Ed tomorrow.
Yes. 140 confirmed RSVPs, and it's going to be huge, and it's going to be awesome. So see you guys there. Meet Victor and I in the flesh in person next Saturday.
And the week after that is actually September 12th, I believe.
That would be September 12th, yes.
That'll be on my channel. So see you there. See you guys there. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Cool.
No problem. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll see you next week and talk to you later, Hiko.
Yes.
Guys.
See you guys later. See ya. Peace.